Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classic/Non-Classic. This is episode number 1016 and Doubleshot number 910. I got two DC trades, both magic based. First up it is Wonder Woman Volume 7 Amazon's Attacked. Yes, the name itself implies it's a connection to that of, well, the Amazon attack story from 2009. Yeah, it's just in name only reference to it. It has nothing to do with that. This time, is the Amazons being attacked. Now, the whole thing with these particular issues is that we have Darkseid, who's pretty much the main villain of James Robertson's run, is pretty much been fully restored after his battle with Zeus, and he's basically in the Amazonian jungle. Yes. We also have Wonder Woman dealing with her brother, who is let's just say a party monger. He loves parties, so threw a party at his house, her house, while she was off doing adventures. And they do mention Gigantine, of course she becomes a recurring character later on with the different Raider. And of course you also stuff dealing with the Silver Swan for a couple issues. Yes. Yeah, they actually bring in the third Silver Swan. As far as I know, this is her first post-Flash appearance. Yes, the third one. Her name was Veronica. Yeah, those know who this character is. She's a character created by George Perez back in the 80s, who I'm trying to think, it was either John Byrne or Phil Jimenez turned her into the Silver Swan. Yeah, and basically, the writer of the book, James Robertson, who basically has written, as far as I know, I don't think, prior to this, I don't think he's written Wonder Woman before. He's written our books, per se, but he's never written the Wonder Woman title before. But at least he knows what he's doing. And plus, he's done magical stuff before, so he has some expertise in that. So, they fight for a couple issues. Jason gets a chance to fight her. Why not? It's the first time I can think of he actually got one of her old enemies, the Silver Swan. And she goes like a massive killing spree. And it turns out the reason why she's done this, because she's a schizophrenic. Yep, she's basically so mixed up, and she mistakenly thought Wonder Woman basically was ignoring her, even though she really wasn't. But it was a good little mini tale with these issues. And of course it comes to the Amazon's Attack story, where Darkseid wants to basically go to Themyscira for some reason. And the Female Furies show up. Yep, the original Female Furies. Well, minus Big Barda, of course. Yes. And as for how in the world these ladies even got there, it's never shown, but it's implied Darkseid must use a boom tube in order to get them there. But here's the question, though. Like, how long is Darkseid going to stay on Earth for? He says there's something in Thanos, like one of his, let's say, his slaves says that you have all the ways you plan, all your plans laid forward to rule the Earth. He says, I don't care about the Earth. There's nothing here. I had no desire to rule it, but there's something in Themyscira I want. Yeah, some relic, whatever. They don't say what it is. And he goes to Argus. He says, like, do we have enough power to go to Themyscira? He's like, no, but we do have enough power to go to Argus. Like, someone just basically went to Argus, and they figure, though, why not? Go to Argus. Basically launch a whole bunch of a massive attack on Argus headquarters. Like how Wonder Woman was there, along with Steve Trevor. And I love the conversation that I had before then, where Steve Trevor was talking with his the twin brother of his girlfriend's twin brother, and they get along. Despite the fact that he doesn't trust him, he gets along with him fine. Which I appreciate Robinson writing that way, because I'm sure Steve Trevor really wants to marry Wonder Woman because he does love her. Mm-hmm. And he says to him that he does appreciate that he's in his sister's life. Well, Steve Trevor is in his sister's life. He does appreciate that, which I'm sure that probably Steve Trevor something to smile at, something that his own girlfriend's twin brother approves of him. Mm-hmm. Yep. And then of course, when Argus attacks, the attack is mostly repelled. Then they capture 2 of the Female Furies. Well, they do take some of the relics. Yeah, the 2 Female Furies they capture are Lasha and Mad Harriet. Mm-hmm. Want to fight some, and then of course they fight near island near some other dimension that apparently Themyscira is not there. And Wonder Woman ends up fighting Darkseid, and Jason basically drags Grell to this other dimension where he meets his mother, Wonder Woman's mother, Queen Hippolyta. Yep. Now, here's something that I have never really understood. Now, when Meredith Finch started her run, pretty much the first thing she did, because at the start, not long after Brian Azzarello started his run, Queen Hippolyta was turned to stone, and then her statue was destroyed. And then by the time that Greg Rucka came on board, somehow she's alive. Her death has been retconned. And that was not the only thing that was retconned. The death of Ares. Yes, they changed stuff with Ares as well. And I'm like, why the heck would they do that for? That's so bizarre. Ares is now a prisoner of Themyscira. Why? No idea why. Also, it was revealed the reason why Silver Swan basically got so mixed up was because of Veronica Cale. Yep, a character who... Here's kind of the weird thing about this woman. A lot of times she's shown up, basically Greg Rucka is usually the one writing the character. The only books I can think of that she showed up in where Greg Rucka was not writing the book and she showed up in it was in 52, Aftermath, The Four Horsemen, and the Doom Patrol, the ongoing series they had before The Flash. It's the only books I can think of, aside from this book, where Veronica Cale has shown up and Greg Rucka is not the writer of the book. It's written by somebody else. I think that the first two stuff, the Doom Patrol and 52 After the miniseries, that's done by Keith Giffen. This is done by James Robertson. Yeah, basically your appearance in here, just a cameo, and just basically a reference to Greg Rucka's run during the whole storyline, the truth. Mm-hmm. Yep. And the whole thing with Grell being dragged to Themyscira, of course, Jason gets a chance to meet his mother. They fight Grell, they feed her, and they put her in the same prison that Ares is in. Thus, kind of wrapping up her story, in a way for now. Who knows if DC ever revisit it. Darkseid is implied to have possibly died, but the story ends with him alive. Somehow. But this, of course, is a really good story, though they do have some stuff set up later on for the final arc of James Robinson's run for the book. This involving space giants. Yep. But that will come probably in the next trade, Volume 8. But this is really good. Give this book a 9.5 out of 10. Really, really good. Next up, it is Justice League Dark, Volume 3, The Death of Magic. Let's collect issues 14 to 21. There's about 3 different stories in here. Yes, 3 different story arcs here. Now, the writing here is done by Jeff Lemire and Ray Fox. Ray Fox there taken on as the main writer of the book, well, after Lemire left. Yeah, the first issue is a standalone issue called Into the House Mystery. Just simply put, like, Timothy Hunter, I think it's not Timothy, it's some other guy reporting on stuff related to Argus, and basically kind of like a recap, basically, to be with other characters. Yeah, where you have Amethyst on the team. Now, the team at this point in time, this is the original League Dark, the one started by Peter Mulligan. The lineup in this book, basically, are these following characters. John Constantine, Deadman, Santana, Timothy Hunter, who actually quits at the end of the Death Magic storyline, the Frankenstein Monster, yes, the Frankenstein Monster is a member of the team, Amethyst, who was part of the group briefly, and then she quit, Black Orchid, though it's not the original Black Orchid, it's a character exclusive for this book, though she did pop up in, like, Secret 6, and that was pretty much it. Yeah, they explain in here, they kind of reveal her real name in here, but nothing much is done with that. We also have there's Xanadu, but it's a pretty good lineup for what it is. And just basically, just look around the house mystery. That's what it is. But most of this book is simply the Death of Magic storyline, where it deals with pretty much something that's building up throughout most of the book involving Timothy Hunter. It's probably some kind of magic messiah, and then pretty much he decided to give up his magic and go and live a normal life. And of course, his father Jack Hunter shows up in the storyline, deals with these other machines. They didn't really explain what these things are. And Timothy Hunter has stayed behind. He quits the team, and he's never seen again. Well, until he shows up in the Sandman universe with his new Books of Magic ongoing series, which is currently 12 issues in right now. And pretty much this run actually supposed to pick up after the Neil Gaiman miniseries, not the ongoing series happened in the 90s. I don't know why. Maybe because it was not approved by Neil Gaiman. I'm not really sure why that was. But I know Timothy Hunter's done since then. Now, then, of course, at the end of that storyline, basically, John Constantine cuts off ties with Argus because the Justice League Dark basically was kind of like their magical division in a way, though he broke off from them. And he tells by this, basically, take your black books and put them back in the black room. We're done with you. That's what he tells them. And they go back in the house, and that's where you think the thing ends, but nope. Then it leads to a two-parter involving a guest appearance by the Flash of all people. Yes, the Flash, where he's there helping them out, and he's a pretty good help to them in this two-parter, involving also Swamp Thing showing up. He's also having someone who shows up later on. And also, the main villain in this two-parter is Dr. Destiny. Yes, an old Justice League villain from the 70s, who apparently was retconned here to be Madame Xanadu's son. Who the father is, never explained. The only person he's ever slept with is Jason Blood. And he's not even in this book at all. Nope, I think he quit prior to this. Oh yeah, they also had Andrew Bennett, a.k.a. Vampire. He shows up in here as well. Yep. The book ends with basically leading into Trinity War. Yes, that came next. Okay, you made enemy of the Justice League. Yeah, and apparently Deadman did not like the name Justice League Dark at all, despite the fact he was part of this group. Him, John Constantine, and Santana are the only people who stayed with this group the entire run, well, all along with Black Orchid. Now, of course, right after this came Trinity War, Blight, the Aftermath storyline involving Nana Parv, which they were actually in here. But I'm going to give this book roughly a 9.5. It's really good. And then, of course, came the final story arc involving the House of Wonder stuff. And that was the end of the book. I mean, the book itself managed to last about 19 more issues and had one more annual publish before the book ended. Now, I do have on order right now from the library. I do have the first 2 trades in order, so I'll get a chance to wrap up reviewing this particular trade series. Now, those of you curious, what was I planning on reviewing Volume 4? I've reviewed 5 and 6 already. Was I planning on reviewing Volume 4? No, I have no plans to do that because here's my opinion of why I'm not going to review Volume 4. It's pretty much the Justice League Dark issues for Trinity War and Blight. This trade has no reason to exist at all, and I'm not sure why DC did this for. Like, they couldn't have next trade deal with the Aftermath Forever Evil? Nope, we had to have those, like, 8 issues in this one trade that were already collecting 2 other trades already. Yep. I have no idea why, but they did. And it's the only trade I would recommend skipping for the Justice League trade series. If you want to read those issues, or just want to have them in your collection, just get Forever Blight, and you'll be fine. Yep. Not much else to say about these issues, but it's a good book to explore the magical side of DC Universe, and I appreciate that DC actually did this. And I also love the fact DC brought back this series just last year, and of course met the writer, James Tynion, who's doing a fantastic job with the book, and I can't wait for Volume 2 to come out. Alright? So yeah, that's it for this particular review. One more review coming. I'm going to have one more video coming, and that's next in our Comic Corner, okay? With both 2 Marvel books involving Spider-Man, okay? But see you next view. Bye.